Hey, crochet friends, welcome to another episode of Crochet Business Chat podcast. I have a question for you. Have you ever felt like maybe I'm just not cut out for designing or selling crochet stuff? Maybe it's just not for me. Well, the truth is that that's a pretty common feeling amongst your peers in the crochet industry. And basically, it's just self-doubt. And while it is common, typically, it's not true and it's not you. I believe that we are trying to build crochet businesses in a model that is broken. I'm going to tell you some of the myths that are keeping people stuck in their crochet business, what the truth is, and what we can do about it as crochet business owners. So that sounds fun to you. Thanks for being here. Be sure to hit subscribe, like this video so more people get to see it. And comment below if you have any feedback on the things that we're going to be talking about today. So I'm going to take a look at my notes if you'll forgive me. Okay, so it's important to understand that the online crochet business industry is not only young, but is constantly changing. So it used to be that the crochet industry was designers who would make things and producers who would produce things and they would sell in person, and designers would typically sell to publications. Well, everything changed with the advent of the internet and now we're online. And while the internet has been around for 30 years at this point, we're still trying to figure it out. And the thing is that there's so many people trying to figure it out on their own. There's so many people winging it and then saying, well, this is what worked for me, or that doesn't work, don't even try it, that there's no standardized, just do this and you're guaranteed success model. Instead, right now, there's just a big, huge mishmash of try this, don't do this, don't work with this company, this company doesn't pay you enough, or this company has too many fees, or don't post on social media, post on social media, do all the things. Ultimately, it all comes down to inconsistent guidance, lots of myths, lots of confusion, lots of overwhelm, and very little room for nuance. And ultimately, building a business is going to be all about nuance and you stepping into your power as a crochet CEO. So some examples of what you might see are, one YouTuber says, post every day, post 3 times a day, post 5 times a day. Someone else says post weekly, and you just don't know what to do. And so oftentimes people are left with a sort of paralysis when it comes to understanding how to even operate in their business. Ultimately, you have been trying to build a business inside of that broken system. And for a lot of people, it's made you feel like you're the one who's broken. So I want to bust some of these myths today so that we can, operate from a place of confidence, operate from a place of curiosity and exploration and adventure, and a place of community support, all of those good things. So if that sounds good to you, let's talk about some of these myths. The first one is posting more equals selling more. Like getting out there and posting every day or doing a TikTok live for 6 to 8 hours a day is going to make you more money. And in reality, more posts don't necessarily mean better results. So posting without a strategy is simply noise, and it can lead to burnout, especially when you're working so hard without a payoff. That's when burnout becomes inevitable for you and your business. So serving the algorithm without serving your audience is going to cause problems for you in your business. So as you build your social media strategy, it's important to recognize the need for connection, not just visibility. For example, some things that I see are people who are famous in the industry and people who call them big designers or big makers. And while those people may be quite visible behind the scenes of their business, they're actually struggling to make profits because they're beholden to their sponsors or they're just not selling they're out there making and they're out there being in the public eye, but they're not actually selling things. So we need to have a system that prioritizes all of those things, the connection, the visibility, and the sales, so that you can have a payoff at the end of all of your hard work. So that's myth number one. Posting more doesn't mean selling more unless you have a strategy. Myth number two is charge what you're worth. We hear it all the time, and I've said it in the past as well. Charge what you're worth. The problem with this advice is that it is vague, right? What you're worth depends on the work you've done on yourself, how you do value yourself. Some people overvalue what they create based on their skill levels, their professionalism, and their actual output. And some people severely undervalue what they create because they undervalue themselves. So telling people to charge what you're worth is really a setup to either overcharge and not make any sales or undercharge and not make any profit. So remembering that you are invaluable, you are created invaluable, and there's no price we can put on your worth. So as we look at how we're pricing products or pricing the patterns that you're designing, we're looking at what is the value to the customer, because you could value your work as much as you'd like to, but if the customer doesn't see the value, they're not going to spend the money. And, that comes down to your messaging around your products, the way that you present the value of each thing that you create, and the perceived value that the customer has. It's also important to recognize that you have costs, you have market demand, you have business goals. All of those things play into how you're going to be pricing your items. And I do suggest having a framework or a formula, which I have a formula, I'll put it in the description, that you can plug your numbers into to get a baseline of like, this is how much I have to sell it for in order to make a profit. And then on top of that, you could do your value adds and you could figure out, what is the value of this product in the marketplace. So it needs to be above what you need to make in order to meet your baseline profit, business expenses, supplies, time, all of those things. So it is the value of the product, not the value of the person, that determines the price that we should put on a thing. So vague advice leads to pricing paralysis and not taking action. So we want better for you. Remember that when you undercharge because you want to be accessible to people, you end up resenting orders. You end up getting more orders than you can fulfill. And, you set yourself up to be devalued in the future. So yeah, keep that in mind. Charge what you're worth is a great, it's a great saying, but it doesn't carry a lot of meaning. So let's look more at charge what its value. Charge the value of the item. I hope that helps. All right, myth number 3. If you're not exhausted, you're not trying. Hustle culture is prevalent in our community because people want to be visible. People think that if they put more stuff out there, I'll make more sales. And so hustle until you reach burnout. So I want you to remember that you started your business for personal and financial freedom, not for 16-hour days, stress, anxiety, physical and mental stressors, all of that. I don't want you to get caught up in that hustle culture. There is a way to build your business to be profitable without giving that desire to work too many hours a day. Remember that rest is not laziness. Rest is a strategy. Your creative mind is sparked when you're in a state of peace and a state of rest. So building those quiet white spaces into your day as a business owner is going to be really important. So this is something that I have struggled with in the past because I'm a bit of a workaholic. I love working. I'm recording this on a Saturday. So when normally people would be off, yeah, I like to work, and I have to set boundaries around my work time. I used to work 16, 18 hours a day in my crochet business. I have dialed back to 6 hours a day, sometimes 8. I'm doing a lot better. I've had to do that because of burnout. I had to do that because of shame spiral of I'm not doing enough, I'm not doing enough, I'm not doing enough. And sometimes our customers will even affirm those negative thoughts that we have about ourselves. They say, you're not showing up enough, you're not doing enough, you're not responding to your emails quickly enough. And even Etsy says, you need to respond within 24 hours. Well, that means you're responding on the weekends, responding on holidays, all of those kinds of things. So the entire industry is pushing for hustle culture. And I don't want you to get into that whole shame spiral and exhaustion and physical and mental distress. I want you to think about a time when you followed all of the rules and how did that go for you? All of the rules that you heard, there's so much free advice out there, and there's so many people saying, I did this and it worked, and I did that and it worked, or don't do this. And how many times have you followed all of the things other people have told you to do and then you just continue to struggle? I want to help you find a place where you can have agency in the way that you build your business within a flexible framework, that you have sort of a proven foundation. Business is strategy and business is engineering. And so when we engineer a foundation for our business, we can be flexible about style, we can be flexible about visuals and niches and the way we operate within a framework. But without the framework, we're just running around like a chicken with its head cut off, and we don't want that for you and your business. So remember that business isn't magical. It's not just throwing spaghetti at a wall and seeing what works. There are frameworks out there to tell you, this is what works to build a foundation, and then go crazy inside of that foundation. Do your thing, be as creative as you want to be, but recognize that in order to make profit, you need to focus on math, which is pricing, psychology, which is buyer behavior and your behavior as the CEO, and on systems. So those are sort of the three things that play into how you're going to be building your business. If you're struggling as a business owner, you are not a failure. You have just been winging it for too long. And there's something better for you. Remember that systems bring freedom. Systems bring clarity. Systems bring predictability and peace. So I would love to share with you down the road, I'm going to tell you how we can do this, some systems for your own business that you can build that framework inside of. Without them, every task feels urgent, every task feels important, but with strategies, you can rest a little bit. You can set up some automations. Eventually, you can hire some people to do some of the things in your business that you don't enjoy, and they get to make money for themselves and for your business, which is a really great feeling. Yeah, that's what I want to help you do. So I want you to think about, where in your business are you winging it right now? Where do you feel the most unsure? Where do you feel the most overwhelmed? Where do you feel the most reactive? When things happen in your business, what bubbles up? What feels bad? Let's fix some of those things. So for example, with your pricing, are you just picking a number out of thin air, or are you calculating what you need to charge for your products in order to make a profit and continue building your business? With your marketing, are you creating content with a plan, or are you just posting when you feel like it? I will admit that I fall into that second category there. And then with customer experience, do you have emails and follow-up workflows, or do you just wait for a DM to come in from someone saying, can I buy that thing? And you just kind of experience the chaos of what that looks like. I want you to choose one area this week and write down what you're doing and why. And if you don't have a reason why, then you don't have a strategy. So I want you to think about that as you're saying, oh, I'm going to do this. Ask yourself, why am I doing this in my business? Like, what's the purpose? And do I have a strategy? Is it just because I'm supposed to post? Or is it because I would love to educate, or I would like to connect with my audience, or I want to encourage my customers, or I want to, let them know about this thing that we're working on and what they can anticipate coming out in the future? All of those things, when you have a purpose, your messages receive so much better than you just like throwing something out there, like, pay attention to me. Hey, look at the thing I made. Tell me I did good. That kind of stuff. That sort of repels your audience. I just wanted to let you know that yes, the system is broken. Yes, there are things we can do about it. The whole purpose of Crochetpreneur is to help you build a business that does have strategies, that does have a solid foundation, so that you can blossom inside that sort of protected framework of proven business strategy. So I just want you to know that in September, we're going to be spending 2 days together working on your business at the Crochet Business Virtual Retreat. Our theme this year is Forever Fans. We're going to be looking at how to build your customer base from the first time they hear about you through the entire customer journey, how we're going to build fans out of our customers and serve them in a way that feels good to both them and to us, so that eventually they become advocates, affiliates, and your biggest cheerleader in your business. So we're going to go from chaos to clarity. We're going to do step-by-step action plans. We'll have a personalized strategy for you. We're going to do co-working. We'll have networking events. We'll have hot seat strategy calls. And the entire crochet business community will come together and hang out and work on our businesses together. So this event is free, and it's for you if you're tired of winging it and you're ready for a way that works in your business. So there's no tech barriers. You don't need to be an advanced business owner. You could be a new business owner. You could be a veteran business owner. You could be a product seller. You could be a designer. This is for all crochet business owners. So whether you're a client of Crochet, whether you're a student in one of our programs, or if you are brand new to Crochetpreneur or Crochet Business Chat, we would love to have you join us. You can grab the link in the description to get on the wait list so that once we open the doors, you'll be able to register. All right, remember, you're not failing. Right now, you're under-supported and over-pressured, and we want to change that for you. The system has taught you to blame yourself for its flaws. There's a better way. You're not failing. The system is failing you. Let's change that, and let's get you on a path to profits and peace and financial freedom for you and your business. If you know a crochet business owner who needs this message, who needs some encouragement, who would love to connect with other crochet business owners, send them this episode and let's unburden each. Thank you so much for being here. If you're listening live, go ahead and say hello in the comments, and I will hang out and answer your questions. If you're watching on replay, be sure to say hello. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will be back to answer those in the coming days. So thanks for tuning in to another episode of Crochet Business Chat. I will be back next week with a new topic. Good to have you here, and I will talk to you later.